Welcome to our new live broadcast time. If you're catching us live this evening, my name is Diane, and tonight we're going to be talking about why endurance is so rare. So, welcome if you're jumping on live with us. If you're catching this on the rebroadcast, either on YouTube or Facebook, thank you for clicking on that start button and joining in the conversation with us. As always, I appreciate comments and or questions being left throughout the broadcast, either live or if you're catching this on the rebroadcast. I always go back and review comments, so please feel free to engage in the conversation and always feel free to introduce yourself as well. That is the best way for me to connect with you in this amazing community. So tonight, like I said, we will be discussing endurance and why I feel endurance is so rare in this sort of era of time that we're living in. But before I do that, I always like to take a second to introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Diane. I'm a certified exercise nutrition coach who has been practicing in this arena of health and fitness for about 25 years now, primarily helping women find nutritional plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best, and most importantly, live their most authentic life. And here in this community, we are doing that through the practice of intermittent fasting. So, why is it that endurance is so rare today? And I say today because like I said, have been in this industry for almost half of my life. And when I start working with women, oftentimes it's at a state of desperation. They're willing to do just about anything to create some change and to improve their overall health and well-being, or the way they're feeling, or the way that they're feeling about themselves. And they'll do just about anything when the enthusiasm and the newness is there. And then as soon as things become difficult, or maybe the reality sets in that there's going to be some sacrifices being made, the enthusiasm tends to wean off and the reality sets in, and that's where endurance tends to sort of become the reality, or the new reality of the goal or situation. And so I want to kind of focus on that. So when I talk about endurance, I don't necessarily mean endurance as in running like an ultra marathon. I mean endurance as far as being able to do that gut check when things get tough, and really having that perseverance to stick things out, even though it may be uncomfortable, or it may be something that even takes you out of like the social norm for a while you're pursuing what it is that you're after. You have it up? Mm-hmm. Okay. So why is it that we tend to give up on something that we feel so passionate about in the beginning, or we're so enthusiastic about on day one, but around day 20 or day 30, we tend to really give ourselves permission to jump out? And in my opinion, I really think it's because for so many of us, we were never really taught what it means to just, I don't know, in like plain terms, just suck it up and get through it. And a lot of that comes from the fact that we're never really taught to stay mentally engaged or focus on what it is that we've set for ourselves as a goal. And for a lot of people, that's just not having that experience with deliberate practice. And deliberate practice is when we are mentally focused and mentally and emotionally engaged in what it is that we're pursuing, what it is that we're trying to proactively change in our life. And when we're not in a deliberate state of practice, and we're kind of just going through the motions, or not mentally and emotionally engaged or connected, it's really easy for us to just walk away from something. We have no skin in the game. And when we're involved in something deliberately, and we are mentally and emotionally engaged and focused, meaning we're purposely putting effort into something regardless of how tough it gets, that's when we really endure and can get to that point of seeing and feeling the results. But if we don't practice being deliberate about what it is that we're after, and we just go through the motions, and we're waiting for someone to tell us what to do, and we're not able to really figure things out for ourselves, it's so easy to find those excuses, and it's so easy to blame things on someone else, or it's so easy to justify walking away from what it is that we really, really at one point wanted for ourselves, because it's just another one of those things. And we really don't allow ourselves the opportunity to become true experts in what it is that we're after. And so bringing that into this community and practicing something like intermittent fasting, or even just making some subtle nutritional changes or incorporating some sort of fitness regimen to improve what it is you're trying to do with your health or your well-being, or I know for a lot of us here in this community, even just clearing out our brain and getting some cognitive skills back in our brain and some memory back, and practicing those things long enough to really see those effects. What is it that's going to get it to stick for us? And oftentimes it's just making sure that we have that mental connection, and like I said, even that decision that no matter what, we are going to stick this through. And we do that, like I said, through the practice of just being deliberate about it and really taking ownership of it, and knowing that going that easy route and sticking through it and having that endurance type of mentality is really going to be the thing that's going to see us to the end and help us see those results. And ultimately here, what we're hoping to do with that sort of practice is create a lifestyle for ourselves. And you can't create a lifestyle on something that's going to be short-lived, or something that you've already made a decision that's going to be short-term. If you think about it, hopefully all of us have many, many years left in our lifespan, and a great opportunity to practice this lifestyle that we're creating over many, many years. And so that is where endurance really comes in, with something like intermittent fasting and making just some really kind of common sense nutritional changes. And I say common sense only because information is so readily available to us these days. I mean, we can Google everything, we can research anything we want, and we can Google enough things and research enough information to really boil down to just plain old common sense information, and then incorporate those things through deliberate practice and figure out how to create our own lifestyle. And when we take on that responsibility and we commit to incorporating some endurance into those kind of activities, that is really when we can incorporate some pretty solid changes for ourselves, and then ultimately see what it is that we're trying to see through when we're setting goals for ourselves. So how do we get to this point? How do we become the exception? How do we become the outliers, where endurance isn't rare for us, but endurance is just what we are. It's what we do. It's how we live out our life. And so I have some tips for you that hopefully will help you really start practicing being a little bit more deliberate about what you're doing, and being mindful and conscious and in the moment with what it is that you're trying to create for yourself in this community here, with creating a lifestyle that will help you live most authentically and look and feel your best while you're doing it. So I have 5 little pointers or steps that will really help you start to be very deliberate in what it is that you're trying to practice. And the first one is you have to find your motivation. So here in this community, we talk about the why a lot. Like, why is it that you want to have more energy? Why is it that you want to make sure that you keep your brain as healthy as possible? Why is it that you want to stay physically able to live your life and not be limited physically by what it is you can and cannot do with your family? Why? What is your motivation? And Michael and I talk about it a lot here, that for us, our motivation to be healthy and physically fit, and for me to keep my mind sane and my memory intact, is because I have grandkids that are very far out in my future. We have not even a 12-year-old at home. I'm 52, Michael's 54. My motivation is to make sure that I am as healthy as I can possibly be for those grandkids that I hope to have probably 10 or 15 years down the road. And if you're quick with math, you can figure out that I'm going to be one of those older grandmothers, and Michael's going to be one of those older grandfathers. And so we don't have time on our side. We have to be very deliberate in what it is that we're practicing, so that we can be healthy, active, and present mentally for the family that we hope to have in the future. So that's our motivation. So find your motivation, and make sure that the motivation that you find is one of those things that's going to create a deep-seated why for yourself, so that you can stick it out and create that endurance that you need to have to see it through the end. The second tip I have for you to help you be more deliberate in what it is that you're trying to practice with your health and fitness is know how to measure your successes. So again, here in this community and in the course that I teach, when setting up goals, I always ask that you set them up in the present tense and that you set them up in a way that they're very measurable. So you want very specific goal markers for yourself. So for me, it's I want to remember my kids' names. Like I want to know Logan's name and Gabby's name, and I want to remember where I park my car, and I want it to happen today when I drive to Target. And those were things I didn't have just a year ago, when I couldn't even remember what my son's name was when I was talking about him to my husband, or I would be in a state of panic walking out of a grocery store or outside of Target, and I had no idea where my car was parked. That's part of, again, my motivation and a measurable goal that I have. I want to make sure that I keep my memory intact, and that's one of the big reasons why I'm practicing this lifestyle for myself. So make sure you set goals that are measurable, and you want to make sure that they are in the present tense and that they are something that you can actually look back and see the success that you have made. And then the third tip I have for you is follow those who are doing what you want to learn how to do. So make sure when you are seeking out information about what you want to do with your nutrition or what it is that you want to do with your health and fitness, that the people that you're seeking information from are walking their talk and they are able to give you solid advice that are simple steps to help you get to where you want to go. And you want to make sure that they are practicing what they're preaching as well, which is really why in this community here, we have so many of our students speak up and share their stories with other people, women especially, who are kind of trying to figure out what step that they want to take next. Follow the people who have the endurance. Follow the people who are practicing this type of lifestyle deliberately. And then watch what they're doing and see how long they're sticking around. And then just know if you do those same exact things, then you'll be able to get the results that other people are saying that they were getting as well. Even if they're not exact, you know that you will be able to make amazing improvements in what it is that you're seeking for your overall health and well-being. And then number 4 is you have to practice, 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 and you have to do that very deliberately. It always has to be on the forefront of your mind. Practicing something that's going to change your overall health and well-being for the long term should be something that you focus on and you think about every single day. It should be the thing that directs every activity that you're engaged in. It should be the thing that you answer the questions to as far as everything that you're going to consume nutritionally in your body. And it should also be that question that you're constantly asking yourself when you just dedicate your time to something. Is this something that's going to get me to that goal and where I want to be? And that does mean that it has to stay on the forefront of your mind and that you have to do it actively and that you can't afford to do anything passively. You have to make sure that you're making decisions consciously every single day about everything that you're doing in your life. And then the 5th thing is be willing to fail and then just give it another go. There is nothing that we're doing here in this community that is perfect, and no 2 women are doing it exactly the same way. So that means there has to be some cushion and some room to fail at some things. Each woman that we work with in this community, whether it's in the course or just following along here with what we talk about here on Facebook and YouTube in our live discussions, every woman is going to go about this in her own personal way, or you should be going about it in your own personal way. And every woman is going to have different reactions to what it is that they're doing with their body and what it is that they're putting in their body. And so that means that there has to be some trial and error, because you are going to try something that someone else did and it may not work the same way for you. And that is perfectly okay. That is what the true definition of living life is that's trying something and see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. We consider that a learning experience and then we move on to the next trial. And we keep trying and we keep trying and we keep trying until we figure out what is going to work best for us. And then the last thing, which would be a bonus little tip, is just take risks. If what you're feeling today isn't your absolute best, and if you're at that point in life where you're totally frustrated about what's happening with your body, or you're totally frustrated with what's happening in your workouts, maybe you're not seeing the progress you were seeing before, you're completely frustrated with your body because it's not losing weight, or you experience some of the things that I did with memory loss and suddenly being diagnosed with, diabetes and insulin resistance. And I know so many women are also suffering from some horrible autoimmune disorder type signs and signals. And if you're not happy with those things, it is so worth it to just take some risks and try some new things, because in the reality of it all, whatever you're doing is clearly not working. And it's totally worth it to take those risks if you know that it's okay, that sometimes things are going to not work perfectly for you and you just have to go back and try them again. So quickly, those 5 little tips that I shared with you about how to become more deliberate in what it is that you're practicing to create some changes in your life. The first one is find your motivation. And then when you find that motivation, make sure it's a deep-seated, emotionally why connection to you. Number 2, know how to measure your success. And when you're writing out your goals and you're trying to figure out how to measure your success to see if something's working for you, you want to make sure that those things that you write down are always in the present tense, as if they're happening for you today. And then you want to make them very specific so that you can gauge whether something is working or something is not working. Number 3 is find people who are doing what you're already doing and they're showing signs that it's working. Make sure that the people that you are getting information from are also practicing what they preach. And then number 4, practice, and deliberately practice what it is that you are making the commitment to build some endurance in, and make sure that you're practicing long enough to find the level of success that you're looking for, or to find some positive changes. And then number 5, be willing to fail and know that failing is part of learning, and failing is part of the progression steps that we take to move forward. And then just don't be afraid to try again. And if you fail again, that's okay as well. You just keep trying till you figure out what works for you, and then take risks. Because if whatever you're doing in your life is not working for you and it's not making you happy and you don't feel like you're looking and feeling your best and you're definitely not living your most authentic life, then it's worth it to take some risks to find a new way and see if that might yield you a better result. So, doing all of these things will really help you be that person that can live a life of endurance and really stick through a decision that you've made for yourself to make some positive changes in your life when things get tough, or when things get uncomfortable, or things feel like you're probably the only one that's going through it. Trust me, you're not. And if you can build up that level of endurance that's going to get you through those tough days, right on the other side of that are going to be some pretty fantastic days for you. And it's going to be that other side of wanting to quit something and really getting to that point of building your own personal endurance that's going to really get you to that point of looking and feeling your best and really having the opportunity to live your most authentic life, because you've created it. And if you've created it for yourself, then that is the ultimate in living your authentic life. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on and welcome everyone who's here. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever, between graduation and prom and a trip to Mexico. It seems like, and then we had internet problems and a computer crash. I feel like I miss my best friends, and I'm super excited to have you guys back on with us. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to jump onto Facebook really quick. I'll welcome everyone who's here and answer some questions and comments, and then I'll jump onto YouTube. So YouTube, hold on just for a second. Barb, good to have you here. Jill, nice to see you, girlfriend. Donna, starting week 4 of 20-hour fasting. Fantastic. That's endurance right there. Joy, good to have you here. Linda, hello. Carrie, first time catching you live. Well, welcome, Carrie. I'm super excited. Hopefully the 9 o'clock time frame is good for you guys. We changed it to 3 o'clock in the afternoon when my daughter was practicing for volleyball, and I couldn't do the evening time frame anymore. But summertime, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time is so much easier for us and our family. So hopefully it'll work out for you guys as well. And if you can't catch us live at 9, always know that we do record these, and you guys can catch these on the rebroadcast as well. And I do go through those and check comments. So don't ever feel like you're missing out if you can't catch us live. Terry, sticking to IF and mostly keto, feeling great, fantastic. I love it. Shayna, hello. Donna, I worry having one large plant-based meal after my 20-hour fast, including 2 eggs, that I'm not getting the calcium and protein I need. Donna, I don't know what would make you worried about that unless you were told that you were deficient in calcium, maybe. And protein is one of those things that sadly we've been kind of misled on how much protein we need to eat. So I would say if you're feeling great and you like the way the changes that are happening with your body, then you're probably doing the right thing. And there is a lot of protein in a plant-based diet as well. So don't think that you have to go out and seek extra protein. Again, go off how you're feeling and then incorporate a good, amount of plate dissection, I guess, as it is when you're plating your food, that really does make you feel satisfied. But don't feel like you have to chase extra protein. That is definitely not what we need to do anymore. Diane, hello. Jillian, my 5-year-old grandson is my motivation. Yeah, good for you, girlfriend. And keep that motivation close to your heart. That'll keep you on track for sure. I love no perfect part. It keeps me going. Yep, me too. Michelle, my motivation is how great I'm feeling physically and mentally. Awesome. And that's fantastic too, because I'm sure you feeling physically and mentally great is also something that other people in your life are benefiting from as well. And I know for me, taking the motivation for me a little outside of myself really does keep me motivated as well. I always feel like I'm almost okay with letting myself down, but I'm definitely not okay with letting my husband down or my kids down or my friends down. And so I always make sure that my motivation is just a little outside of myself as well. And that really does keep me motivated to stay on my game and stay at my best physically, mentally, and emotionally. Lois, hello, girlfriend. Linda, my experience with IF and keto-like foods since September 2017 has definitely taught me that each day is a new start. Exactly. It sure has helped at those times when I haven't made the best food choices in a day. I don't beat myself up and just reset my intention and focus for the next day. I gained this valuable knowledge in my courses with Diane. Oh, Linda, thanks for saying that. Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about our experience on vacation as well. And, when we go on vacation, we do our best to make sure that what we're doing does keep us on that level of looking and feeling our best, because who wants to feel like crap and look like crud on vacation? So we definitely focus on making those decisions. So we're constantly or deliberately practicing what we preach even on vacation. But we do open up our window a little bit more. We don't fast as long, and we do incorporate some little treats here and there, but we always have an exit strategy. And I can tell you today is Monday. We got back from vacation on Friday. Friday and Saturday, I didn't feel my best just because I was without my mineral water for 7 days and just didn't sleep my best when we were on vacation. But food choices were all pretty much in line with what I want to do. I just felt really, vacation backed up, I guess it was. And then I woke up yesterday and today and I felt so much better. So even going off the radar for a week, it just takes 2 days of practicing what makes you look and feel your best to get yourself right back on track. And I feel totally pre-vacation today. It only took 2 days. So in my opinion, that's totally worth it to be able to live that life authentically. Carrie, my motivation is to prevent cancer, which runs in my family. I truly believe fasting is the secret. One of them anyways. Yeah, Carrie, congratulations to you on that and being proactive about that. So make sure you're deliberately practicing that as well. And endurance for you in this lifestyle is going to be the name of the game, because there is so much amazing information out there today that even subtle changes in what you're doing with your nutrition and practicing intermittent fasting means that you're just going to fast for a window of time within a 24-hour period really can put a lot of people in a position where you can severely reduce your risk of cancer. So I say if it runs in your family, girl, take the risk that this is going to be something that can work for you, because there's enough proof up there to show that other things aren't working so well. So congratulations for you for stepping up to the plate and making sure that you're doing those things proactively, Carrie. That's awesome. Lois, I'm in my first week and I have lost 8 pounds as of today. Fantastic. Lois, that's great. And usually what happens when you start intermittent fasting like this and you really are conscious and mindful in your feasting state is a lot of that weight that you're losing is inflammation. We used to so nonchalantly call that water weight. when the true fact is that that is really inflammation, and inflammation is the root cause of so many of the illnesses that we all are suffering from today, including the cognitive loss that we have. And I just watched a YouTube video of a doctor the other day. He was talking about how inflammation is the root cause for heart disease, that it's not even cholesterol, which is what we've been taught for so many years. And so congratulations on losing 8 pounds of inflammation. You are already setting yourself up for a really amazing opportunity of just feeling and looking your best. So congratulations on that, for sure. Melissa, thanks for jumping on with us. Jillian, I've missed the beginning of the broadcast. I will go back over it again. All right, awesome. Donna, my hardest thing is trying to defend my new way of eating and fasting to my husband and family is really draining. I try not to even discuss it. So Donna, let's see. Every time I start to feel like giving up, I start watching your videos to inspire me. Okay, awesome. So keep watching the videos, especially if that's keeping you on track. And the best thing I can say about family members who aren't so keen about what you're doing with intermittent fasting is just play it down. Like, don't advertise the fact that you're fasting per se, and then don't advertise the length of time that you've gone between the last time you ate until the next time you ate, and just really keep it kind of under wraps, and then let them see all the positive things that are changing in you. And then once they see all the positive things that are happening for you, then they tend to lighten up a little bit about hassling you about what it is you're doing and the fact that they just don't understand it. So people get scared by the word fasting. And so just don't use that word. Just choose not to eat, and then just don't advertise what it is you're doing for any length of time would be the best thing. I watched the Netflix documentary you mentioned, and it was great. Yeah, it was fantastic. Lynn, even while dealing with a minor injury, my motivation is right on track because I've been successful in my IF and eating habits and seen amazing results. I'll be right back on track soon. No worries. Awesome, Lynn. What? Oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to read the YouTube comments off my iPad so I don't have to be in Facebook's face right here. So YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and read all the comments that I have here. So Lisa, thanks for jumping on from Illinois. So good to have you here. Brenda from Florida, good to have you here as well. Sandra was on. Jamie, really needed to hear this great topic. Awesome, Jamie. Thanks for calling, checking in with us from Oklahoma. And then Sandra, finally getting into IF and low carb, I guess combined. Did 40 plus fast Saturday evening. Yeah, say congratulations if you're into doing 40-hour fast. I personally don't advocate doing anything outside of the intermittent fasting window, but I do know that there are people who really do enjoy fasting for long periods of time. So congratulations if that's your thing for sure. Debbie, really needed this topic today. Thanks, Diane. Also my first time to watch you live. Well, awesome, Debbie. It's so awesome to have you here with us. And then Eleni, I believe it is, from Seattle. And then Lisa, can't believe how much energy I have while fasting, getting so much done. Yeah, Lisa, that we call that the energized sense of calm. And that is truly when your fat starts to really become, or your body becomes really fat adaptive, and you start just utilizing your own stored resources as a source of energy for your body. So congratulations on tapping into the energized sense of calm. That is really what we shoot for here with this community and intermittent fasting and feasting in a keto-like lifestyle. Donna, Diane, do you have any suggestions for reflux? Trying to give up taking, I don't know, because I don't really know. I don't personally suffer from reflux. So I would say it might be something that you're doing in your feasting window that maybe your digestive system is not handling very well. I would take out anything really like gassy, maybe even. And I know there's some vegetables, you know, like broccoli is one of them. Brussels sprouts is another one that really does cause sort of that reflux kind of feeling. And so I would keep everything very like subtle in a way in what you're doing in your feasting window for a few days and see if it kind of balances itself out. And then I just know that there's people who have reflux, and there's probably not a whole lot you can do about it.
It goes away the longer you fast. That reflux stuff goes
yeah,
away.
and Michael has some experience with that, and he said, you know, the longer and the more consistent. So the two things I always say about fasting is time and consistency, and that's deliberate practice. Over time, things really do start to balance out. It's when you yo-yo in and out of fasting in a keto-like lifestyle, and you're yo-yoing around with what it is you're doing in your feasting window till you've really determined what your body is responding and reacting to. that's when we start to see, things like reflux and, even some insomnia type of situations pop in and out. So be very consistent and journal everything that you're doing and see if you can narrow down that one thing that is causing that reflux for you would be the best advice I could give you for sure. Rita, good to see you here, girlfriend. I haven't seen you in a live for a while, so nice to have you back. And let's see, April, good to have you here from Ohio. And I think that, so Maria, started my IF lifestyle with you in January. The best I've ever felt, leaving behind so many issues and 2 dress sizes. Don't think about weight loss, just feeling my best ever at mindset and better choices. Yeah, Maria, that's really the goal, is to really not focus anymore on needing to lose weight or having to lose weight or even wanting to lose weight. And I know even for myself, and this just is because life happens, and we have had so many amazing things to celebrate in our life, with partying, with Logan's graduation, and like I said, we had the prom party here, and then we just spent a week in Mexico, where none of the food in Mexico causes my body to have any sort of bad signs or signals. So I take advantage of that, definitely why I'm down there. And so I noticed that my clothes aren't feeling the best on me. Some of my slimmer cut shorts and my really super skinny jeans and stuff like that. But I don't really think about having to lose weight necessarily to get back that good feeling I have in those certain pair of pants or those certain pair of shorts. I just focus on getting back to my fasting and feasting the way I know gets me the result that I want and the feeling I want when I slide on a pair of really slim shorts or a pair of skinny jeans. And it really is freeing to have that experience and knowing that all I have to do is go back to what I know my body responds well to, and everything will go back to the way it's supposed to be. And that really is the ebb and flow of what I like to teach here and in our course for sure, is really understanding where your body performs best and then always having that to go back to if something in life happens, like a vacation or a party season, or you just need to take a break from fasting. That's going to be okay. When you create a lifestyle, it's super easy to jump back in when you need to, and it's super easy to give yourself permission to jump out if that's where your life is taking you momentarily as well. Let's see, where do we live off? Lynn, hello. I'm shocked when I get through my 20-hour fast without really thinking about food throughout those last few hours. Yeah, Donna, that's because you're balancing out your hunger hormones, which is what we teach in the first week of the course with the intermittent fasting week, and really understanding what hungry means and what hungry's job is, and how it is that we can control hunger as opposed to what we've always been taught in the past, and just how we've been conditioned, and that is that hungry has controlled us. And when you feel empowered and in control in the state of hungry, then you've really won this battle with food and weight and emotional connections with food. And that's why we have that in the first week of the course. So congratulations for understanding that once you get your hunger hormones balanced out, the hormones are what send you signals that you need to eat. And when you have those under control and you're feeding your body well, then your body sends you the signals that everything's fine and you don't need to eat. And that's really where we want to go to, letting our body drive us through intuitive means of eating. And that's really where we go.
You missed Michelle. She said, what is the Netflix documentary?
Oh, the Netflix documentary is called The Magic Pill. It's a great documentary about fasting and eating well and nutritional ways of really healing your body. And the keto lifestyle as well. So it's a great documentary. I think you can get it on Netflix, right? Mm-hmm. Netflix, yeah. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. When is your next course? Carol, our next course starts July 7th, I believe. And Kara always puts a link in the comment section here, and you can also find it all over my Facebook page. Or you can Google for Today's Aging Woman and get on our email list. Registration is open for the July course. We would love to have you jump in with us. 3 weeks can change your life and the relationship you have with food.
And Lynn says she's enjoying the F3 course.
Oh, yay! I'm so glad you're enjoying the F3 course. That's cool. We have great stuff coming up the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to dive right into getting into our fitness and really being accountable to each other in that course. So I'm super excited you're liking it. Carol, got you. Susan just signed up today for the July course. Excited to hear about this. Susan, I'm super excited to have you join us. You'll be a part of our grad course before you know it. And we always appreciate you guys coming back to hang out with us. And then Robin from Chicago, good to have you on with us live as well. Let's see if we got any more comments here over on YouTube. Lucine, watching from the Bahamas. Well, lucky you. When I do intermittent fasting until 12, I get headaches. Drink more water would probably be the best thing I could say, especially in the Bahamas with the heat and the humidity there. You want to make sure you're drinking enough water. And sometimes if you just put a little dash of salt in your water, that'll help with a headache there as well. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What is your fitness course? Is that an additional course? Yeah, the F3 course we only offer to our graduates. And we started it about 3 weeks ago. We're going through a beta course, so I'm taking some of my graduates for my first course, and they're helping us develop our fasting, feasting, and fitness course, because a lot of women wanted to incorporate some fitness into their fasting and feasting regimen as well. So we'll offer that again in September. Edith, I just signed in. When does it start in July? It starts July 7th. So right after the 4th of July weekend is when we'll get our July course started. So make sure you check the comment section. Kara puts the link there. And then you can go to my YouTube page or my Facebook page and find registration information as well. Or you can just search for Today's Aging Woman. There'll be a registration page for you to get on our email list and an opportunity to sign up for the course right when you're there. A little video on what our course is about as well. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thanks for having the endurance to stick through this live broadcast. If you are suffering or feel like you are constantly falling into that pit of the yo-yo dieting mentality, or just never finding something that works for you, I would strongly suggest that you sit down and have a really solid heart-to-heart talk with yourself and ask yourself, are you the type of person who has endurance? Do you get through the tough parts? Do you have what it takes to stick things through when you set your mind to something? Or are you the type of person that when things get uncomfortable or things get tough, that you tend to give yourself the opportunity to back out? Both of those things are okay. Even if you are that person that has found that you are one that backs out of things when they get tough, realizing that is the first step to making that conscious decision to change things if you don't like living your life that way. And then practice being very deliberate about the steps that you need to take to make those changes and to really get yourself to endure yourself through the tough situations. And I talked about the 5 steps. You can go through and reread or rewatch this video, and Kara's really great. We'll get an email out with a little backup documentation about what we talked about today, and you can review the 5 steps and start practicing them. They're 5 simple steps that you can just run through every day to make sure that you are becoming more deliberate about what it is that you're trying to practice. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited that you guys were here for our 9 p.m. live broadcast. I will be back here on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll have another amazing subject that we'll talk about that can help you incorporate intermittent fasting and living a keto-like lifestyle into your daily routine so that you can finally create a lifestyle that will help you look and feel your best and live your most authentic life. Have a great evening.
Terry says hi, Gabby.
Oh, he's Gabby.